Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this beautiful Thursday, and welcome to my channel once again. This series leading up to our amazing conference that takes place on Saturday. Happiness is Real: How to Thrive Before, During, and After Divorce. My name is Camilla Kalberg, and I go live every Thursday to talk about tools that I have used to transform my life, tools that I teach my clients so they can up-level their lives, and also the tools that I teach my client. Tools that I teach my daughter. But right now, when I go live, I talk about all the different topics that we talk about in our conference, on Saturday. So if you haven't bought your pass, go buy your pass now, because if you want to up-level your life, if you want to get out of the pain, whatever you are on your divorce journey, and you want to start living a better and more abundant life, you don't want to miss this event. So buy your pass now, www.happinessisreal.com. I can't remember. I'm so in the flow right now for this conference and this topic. If I forgot it, my name is Camilla Kalberg. I'm a divorce coach. And when you are listening to this live, let me know that you're here by sending me a comment or a heart, a smile, a wave, because that's the only way I know that you're here with me live. And I'm so happy and grateful that you tune in, whether you tune in live or whether you listen to the replay. When I look in that direction, like there, we connect on Instagram. And when I look down here, we connect on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So that's the reason why I may not always look at you, but I may look at someone else on another platform. All right, 2 days to go to our conference, Happiness is Real. It's so important. It's so life transforming. Today, I want to talk about finding peace in uncertain times. And I have a really hot from the press experience of what it means to find peace in uncertain times, and which proves that you can find peace when everything around you is in chaos or chaotic. But just let me tell you why I bring on this topic. Me and my amazing 5 other speakers, we're reaching out to our clients, our friends, family, and people in our network, because we know that we have something amazing and life transforming we want to offer, or we offer on Saturday. What I also know to be true is that some people report back saying, they know these people, these women are, they suffer. I'm just going to get some more life on. But they tell, the conference is not for me. And here's what we know to be true. Maybe that conference is just for you. You're procrastinating. You're really avoiding tapping into yourself and really exploring how you can take your life to the next level. So the reason why I talk about leaning forward and finding peace in uncertain times, I really hope that inspires you, that you can get out of whatever negative emotions you experience right now. And the fact is that if you have been in that hole of negative emotions for so long, and if you haven't worked with a therapist who told you about positive catabolic energy, like draining energy, or anabolic energy, is that really very thriving, and you don't know where you are right now, you don't know the tools, then stay on and listen to the story, the case I'm going to share with you now, and buy your ticket. It's your investment. It's investment in yourself. And you have kids, it'll be ripples in the water. You will see magic. All right? Because it's all about helping you to thrive and get your best life ever, because you deserve it, and it is really possible with little effort, actually. All right, so let me tell you my story about finding peace in uncertain times. Many of you who've been following me for a while know the story I've been through. It's like neighbors said to me, Camilla, this is kind of a movie. It gets taken out of the movie because it was so chaotic. It was frightening. If you want to use some really energy draining words, It was really, really not a situation I would love anyone else to experience, and I would want anyone else to experience. But that was my situation not many years ago. And until I managed to thrive in uncertainty, I got really nervous. I was scared what was going to happen. And when you think of a situation that doesn't set you up for success and that doesn't make you happy, right? And you keep pointing to that situation gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it does not get better. It gets worse. You probably know it yourself. If you're really honest to yourself, you know that when you think of something that you don't want or you don't like, and you think about it, and when you think about it again, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just at the end, it's just a spinning wheel. You don't know how to get out of that thinking pattern, right? And I was in the exact same situation as you. I was in the exact same situation as you. Until I really start to read my inner state and where I was, like, from a mental perspective, emotional perspective, I was the one who could blame my daughter for saying, I have headache again. Now you do this, it gives me headache. But you know what? I may not be the only one who does that, but the only one who can control how you want to feel is you. You are the captain of your ship, and you cannot blame anyone else but yourself of why you're not feeling great. What I know to be true is that many men and women, many moms and dads out there in our global world, blame other people for why they feel lonely, hopeless, depressed, the list of words that drains you down and makes you unhappy, that it gets longer, right? And I've been there myself. Let me just see. I was also in the place where I tended to judge others. And I know there are women out there who are really good at judging others. I've been in contact recently with women who judge me, right? But actually, it's the other way around. I'm just a mirror of who you maybe want to become, but you're suffering right now. And that'd be another reason why you should join the conference. And really, the conference is here for you to help you thrive. But I meet so many women on my way who judge everyone else in the inner or outer circle for why it is. And they get really angry, and they are on the edge of a psychological abuse. They use really abusive words. So when we talk about psychological abuse, it's have no gender attached, okay? It has no gender attached. But unfortunately, because these women haven't worked on themselves, I don't think they thrive and are proud of who they are. But I think in the moment they feel victory, and they feel I'm so big, and they just really, really mean. And I just can't understand. I think I so much want to invite you in, because you can get a much better life than where you actually are right now. Because when you are beating other people up, when you're judging, you don't have inner peace. And when you don't have inner peace, you look at the smaller things in the world, right? And you forget of all the beautiful things that are out there, and what you can learn from connecting with other people or leaning forward. And here's what is to be true. Ultimately, you have the final say on how you want to show up in each and every situation. You cannot blame anyone else on how you want to show up. My partner, my ex, was so great at telling me why he got angry. It was my fault. It was always my fault. He never took charge. He never took control. And even though he invested a lot of money in himself, he never grew. He never really grew to embrace that he had to work on himself. He had to shift his mindset, right? And I know other people out there as well who blame anyone else for why they feel angry or sad or depressed, right? But really, you have to take control, and you have to take charge, because it's your ship. I'm not living your life, and you're not living my life, but I know there are some universal tools out there that help me thrive. And if I can do it, you can too. All right. So that was really a kind of leaning into why you should, first of all, join the conference next week, but more on this Saturday, but so more importantly, that finding peace is possible when you want to learn how to do it. All right. So let me jump to my story. And I'm gonna tell you I say everything I share is true. I don't mix anything. I don't blend it with anything that is not true. So really, I embrace and invite you to listen to what I'm gonna share with you now, because for me, it's what do we say in English? It's like really coming, the penny dropped yesterday about finding peace and where I am in my transformation of the person I want to become. And for me, it's about rehearsing. My transformation never stops. It never stops. And my mantra before I really leaned forward was, I learn every day. And I tell you, I learn every day. Now it's just on a different perspective. All right, or a different focus and a different speed. All right, here goes the story. We have to move for various reasons, and I found a house very close to school where I thought, oh, look there, we can stay for 2 years. There's space for my daughter, for our cat, and for our dog, Bailey and Kinsey. All right. I negotiated with the guy who rents out the property, and he is a lawyer. So that's I think it's even more interesting in this perspective. All right, there was nothing really so it was very expensive for me. It had a good price tag, let's put it that way. And I asked him to, we agreed on putting up some cupboards so we could move in. And he really pushed me to move in 2 weeks after I signed the contract. Interestingly, as how it has developed since. I said, I know I want to. I can get the keys for the house, and I can pay the rent from the 1st of March. All right. And here's what was interesting. As I signed the contract, he kept changing the contract. He kept changing the conditions on how I should move in. I was not supposed to have an address where the house is, because he wanted me to join his fraud game. He didn't want to pay as much tax. So please, could my address, could it be somewhere else in another location? So he didn't have to pay tax. All right, I had to think about that. And I came back and said, that is not possible. The penny hadn't really dropped about him wanting me to join. I think it was very subconsciously that he wanted me to join his fake game or fraud game. And as the contract kept changing and he kept coming up with new conditions for the contract, I decided 2 days ago to say, all right, this is not the match I want. When I move into a new house, a new property, a new home, I'm going to be at peace. I'm not going to be concerned whether someone else comes in or whether someone finds out that actually it's all a fraud, because it's everything in that contract was makeup. There was nothing real in that contract. It was a lower square meters, but the price is very high. It didn't resonate with me at all. And I came to the crossroad where I said, what he's up to right now, he's abusing me so he can make more money, but he doesn't want to pay tax. And I knew, because now I work so much on my life values, and I know that if things enter my world and they're not in alignment with my life values, I may get upset, I may get angry, I may get anxious, all these negative, draining feelings. So I knew that. So I was prepared. I was so reading how I was feeling in that moment, and I very quickly tuned into the misalignment of my values. All right. So I said, I just have to, I have to get out of that contract. It was very easy because the contract kept changing, right? So there was really no contract. Okay. I'm a mom with a daughter and 2 kids. 2 weeks before we were supposed to get the keys for the new house, I quit. I skipped that contract. I would say in old days, I would have panicked. Because I'm no longer 26. I'm no longer just me I have to take accountability of me, where I'm going to live. I could live anywhere. But now I have a family. I get to create this harmonious space for my daughter. And it's a space where she feels at home. And the home move is going to be as easy and simple as possible. So what I did, I started ringing other people I've been in contact with before. And I went back to one property yesterday. And I was so at peace. I wasn't a panic. I didn't panic anytime yesterday that I didn't have property. Because I knew that everything was going to be sorted out. Everything will work out at the end. I know that. I saw the property. There was 2 properties I could choose. I meditated on it. I knew what property that would be best for my family. I rang the guy, who my contact person, and he said, well, first of all, there's 2 things here, right? It's okay to have a dog and cat in that property, because not all rented spaces permit 2 animals. He came back and said, yes, you can. Woo! That's the first one, right? The next one was that he came back a few hours later saying, the property that you want is yours. I've reserved it. And wow, I thrived, and I'm so happy. I'm so beyond happiness that this is true. And I'm so proud of how I navigated in the space of uncertainty. And the reason why I bring this up is that when you go through divorce, when you're even planning for divorce or after divorce, and you don't know how the finance will come through, you don't know your monthly budget, you don't know where you're going to live, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. And how do you normally react when you're in the situation where there's a lot of chaos? You panic. And when you're in the panic mode, you make decisions that really doesn't set you up for success. But what I've showed, what I proved yesterday to myself, and what I really want to convey today, is that when you work on yourself and when you find the inner balance, you have balance, your inner world is in balance. You know what is to be true. Everything around you can be chaotic. But it doesn't affect you. And that is so powerful a message I want to convey today, because that's all about learning the tools, practicing what you're being taught, leaning forward, asking questions. I did another session about asking. So dare to ask. Be curious to ask on how to become an even better version of yourself, and pull in all the tools that you know, and keep rehearsing yourself. And that, by the end of the day, that will give you that inner peace. And I'm so proud that I found that inner peace. And when I was having a session with my mentor yesterday, and told her I was thriving, I was laughing. I said, we were having the mentor session in the car. I said, well, I decided to jump out of the contract because I didn't want to join that fraud game. And I said, I'm just really happy I can be my body director now. I was laughing. I was in such an amazing state. And when I reported it to my mom and dad, and shared it to my mom and dad, and my mom said, oh, what are you going to do? You got the daughter and 2 dogs and your 2 animals. And she would freak out. She freaked out. She was panicked and she was nervous. And before, like in old times, I would have written on her wave of anxiety, and I would get angry, I would get mad, and I would say, "Mommy," I would really be so hurt, and I would leave the door, I would leave the home, I would leave the conversation, and I would feel really miserable. But you know what I did yesterday? I said, "Mommy, just relax. Everything's gonna work out." I found that there is that hotel apartments we can move in. But I had already lined up a few people who I'm going to talk to, and I had a property viewing listed out yesterday afternoon. I knew what I was going to do, and I did it with grace. I did it with ease, and I wasn't in panic at all. And then my dear lovely dad said, "But Camilla, when you lived in Germany," I lived in many European countries, he said, and reminded me, and now at that point in time, I was working for the foreign ministry, and I think it was 26 or so. And at that point in time, I was also renting a room, and I was given 24 hours to find a new flat, a new home for me. All right, I was in Frankfurt. I knew nobody apart from my colleagues in the consulate. And I rang home, my dad. What I'm gonna do? I don't have money for hotel. I can't get money from my mom and dad. But I was really in panic. And my dad just said, really with a sweet voice, "Camilla, you've been here before. You were kind of been thrown out on the streets with 24 hours notice, and you survived. You're gonna find a solution again." And that time I said, "Well, are you listening to Abraham Hicks or something like that?" I was so proud of what he said, and he cherished me. But at that moment in time, when he mentioned that, I felt at peace. I was at peace. And so I've become greater than the environment. So I was no longer thriving and where my mom was in anxiety and really frustration of like, she said, I knew you could never trust him. He was kept changing the contract, blah, 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 blah. And yes, that's true. But I didn't join her feelings. I didn't join that conversation. I became greater than the environment, tapping into what Dr. Joe Dispenza says in his meditation. I grew. I become greater than the environment. And that's why I so much want to bring this topic onto you today, because you can't become greater than the environment that you are in, even though your environment is as chaotic and frustrated as it might be. You can't find inner peace. And it's so amazing when you find inner peace, because then you take decisions that lead to a different life, and it leads you to just where you want to go. And leading up, that is the whole reason why we do this conference, and we invite you in to join us on Saturday. Happiness is Real: How to Thrive Before, During, and After Divorce. Because it may not always all be that you are suffering in during the divorce journey, but also in other stages of your life. And whatever you are, wherever you struggle, the tools that we're going to share is universal. It fits wherever you are on your journey, right? And whatever challenges that comes your way. And the stories you will hear, whether I talk about my divorce story, you may not going through divorce, but you can mirror maybe other situations of where you are right now. It's okay, but if Camilla did that, let me be inspired and let me lean forward so I can heal and I can jump forward and I can create the life that I want. So let's broaden it out and let's just join us, because I have never before experienced, seen an invitation to such a life transforming event as this in an event that I'm organizing and hosting on Saturday. It is life transforming. So go join, go buy your pass at www.happinessisreal.com. And if you're not there, and if you suffer, we know there's a lot of women suffer out there. Just be open and in receptive of what you're going to show. No camera on, you'll be muted by default. You will have no camera on. That would be off camera is a default as well. Just join and be yourself, right? And if you want to be on stage, you can ask to join the panel of speakers. And you don't have to put in like Susie Brown. Put in happiness, sunshine, nature, green, whatever color you like, whatever that suits you. Just show up and receive all our love, because we are making a movement here in our world. You just haven't really realized that there, but you don't want to miss it. And I think that's it, what I want to share just now. And what says Rita, I love you so much, Rita, you know that. Love this, Camilla. This is powerful message. Yes, it is. Thank you so much just for confirming that. So with this, I am so thrilled. Rita, who is following us or joining us live on Instagram, Rita will join us as well, speak on Saturday. Don't miss this out. Don't miss this out. You're going to love it, and you're going to find out, wow, can I up-level my life? That easy and so simple. And yes, you can. So with this, enjoy the rest of this beautiful Thursday. Enjoy the replay. Any questions regarding the conference on Saturday, send me a direct message and we will reply. And with this, much love, and see you. I think I'm gonna do one more live, and that is tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. Bye for now.